from our Toronto studios. This is the Muslim News on Muslim Network TV. Assalamu alaikum, I am Ahmed Ramadan. The US and China may soon finalize a deal to sell TikTok to anti-Palestinian US investors, including Ellison and Murdoch. This and more on today's show. Stay tuned. Meanwhile, more than 300 public figures are refusing to write for the New York Times. They accuse the paper of spreading anti-Palestinian bias and demand a full newsroom reform. Those signing the letter include Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, author Sally Rooney, and actor Hannah Einbinder. In specific, they want the newspaper to retract its report on alleged sexual assaults during the October 7, 2023 Hamas attacks, saying the story was unverified and harmful. The group is also urging the Times to publish an editorial calling for U.S. arms embargo on Israel and to investigate systematic bias in its coverage of Palestinians. The boycott, announced Monday, adds to growing criticism of U.S. media over its framing of Israel's genocide in Gaza. The Times has not yet responded to the demands. In the occupied West Bank, troops raided a refugee camp and a nearby village outside Nablus. Israeli warplanes also bombed the towns near Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. And in Gaza City, the Israeli army is demolishing homes east of the Tufah and Shujaya neighborhoods, reported by Al Jazeera Arabic. Israel's genocide in Gaza has killed at least 68,634 people and wounded 171,000 since it began in October 2023. Reports say the US and China could soon finalize a deal transferring TikTok's ownership from ByteDance to an American investors consortium. The group reportedly includes Oracle's Larry Ellison, Fox Corporation's Lachlan Murdoch, and Dell Technologies CEO Michael Dell. The Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, has urged U.S. lawmakers to oppose the reported sale of TikTok to anti-Palestinian billionaires. CAIR says the businessmen and their companies have supported Israeli policies of occupation, apartheid, and genocide. The Muslim civil rights group has warned that under their ownership, TikTok could restrict voices critical of Israel and suppress content supporting Palestinians. CAIR has called on Congress to ensure the platform protects free speech and remains open to all viewpoints. Lead contenders for Illinois' 9th Congressional District have pledged not to accept any campaign funding from pro-Israel lobby Aipac. Palestinian-American Democrat Kat Abu Ghazaleh and her Jewish opponent are frontrunners. Former journalist Abu Ghazaleh made headlines this week after being indicted on charges related to a protest outside an Immigration and Customs Enforcement or ICE facility near Chicago. She has called the case a political attack on free speech, saying it reflects an effort to silence dissent. Despite the indictment, she has vowed to continue her campaign. Abu Ghazaleh says the political prosecution is an attack on First Amendment rights. Observers say the Illinois race has become symbolic of a generational shift. Analysts say young candidates from diverse backgrounds are openly challenging traditional power structures. They are also challenging the influence of powerful lobbying groups like Aipac in American politics. More than 2,500 delegates from 42 countries have arrived in Jerusalem for the 39th World Zionist Congress, billed as the largest gathering in the organization's history. Founded by Theodor Herzl in 1897, the Congress meets every 5 years and plays a key role in setting priorities for major Jewish institutions worldwide. The 3-day event, known as the Parliament of the Jewish People, will debate the future of Israel, Jewish identity, and global Zionist priorities. Day 1 features plenary talks and ceremonies, with Israel's President Isaac Herzog expected to speak. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declined an invitation to attend. Delegates will vote on more than 24 resolutions, including controversial calls to extend Israeli sovereignty over the West Bank and to investigate the October 7, 2023 attacks. Leadership elections for key Zionist bodies will follow. President Donald Trump's nominee for ambassador to Kuwait, Ahmed, is facing strong opposition from his own Republican Party for being critical of Israel. Ghalib is the Muslim mayor of Hamtramck, Michigan, whose support for Trump helped turn Michigan voters on his side. At least 3 Republican senators on the Foreign Relations Committee say they will vote against Ghalib, likely dooming his confirmation. Senators Ted Cruz and John Cornyn of Texas, along with Utah's John Curtis, have declared their opposition. A 4th Republican, Pete Ricketts, is undecided. Without GOP backing, Ghalib's nomination may not even advance out of committee. The White House has not commented on whether it will withdraw Ghalib's nomination. Analysts say this marks the 2nd Trump nominee in a month to falter over the usual allegations of anti-Semitism assigned to those supporting equal rights for Palestine. Muslim groups are condemning Florida's top officials for targeting Islamic schools that legally receive state education vouchers. Attorney General James Othmeier, Chief Financial Officer Blaise Angaglia, and Architectural Commissioner Wilton Simpson questioned whether public scholarships should support 2 Tampa-based schools, Hebs Academy and Bayan Academy. Observers say the 3 Republican officials' remarks unfairly single out Muslim institutions. This is despite the fact that more than 80% of Florida's voucher students attend religious schools, mostly Catholic and Protestant. Othmeier claimed that taxpayer funds may promote Sharia law, a statement Muslim leaders called inflammatory and baseless. Civil rights advocates note that Florida's voucher system, which was expanded under current Governor Ron DeSantis, was designed to give all families equal access to private education. They argue the officials' comments stigmatize Muslim schools and their students while ignoring similar state support for other cultural and faith-based communities. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has awarded scholarships to the children of slain Muslim NYPD detective Didarul Islam. Details coming up after the break.
My name is Layla. I was an average kid until Zula Inc. broke into my life because my dad discovered time travel. After that, everything changed.
You're the new girl Layla, right?
Whoa! What if I don't fit in?
Abdullah!
Do I hear my name?
Oh!
Welcome to Vancouver, cuz.
Whoa! Whoa!
You 4 have been specially chosen to take our project into the next generation.
You can time travel?
Abdullah! No! Abdullah! Where?
Do you really think I don't know why we had to leave Seattle, Mama?
Now here, keep these close. These should never leave your wrist.
This virtual reality game is crazy. You can even eat. This is reality, buddy. We zoomed through a wormhole.
Oh no, my Go Watch! It's gone!
What does this do?
That's Al-Khwarizmi. You know, the father of mathematics. It's because of him we have algorithms.
I will not stop until your legacy, everyone's legacy, lies in ruins. Of course it was you. You little rascals ruined everything.
Your fate will be great. Just don't give up.
Time hoppers.
Welcome back. A statue of Confederate General Albert Pike has been restored and reinstalled in Washington's Judiciary Square. It was toppled during the 2020 Black Lives Matter protests against racist police brutality following the murder of George Floyd, a black man, by a white former police officer, Derek Chauvin. The National Park Service says the move was part of its duty under federal historic preservation laws and a 2025 executive order to beautify the Capitol. The bronze monument, first erected in 1901, honors Pike as a Freemason, poet, and scholar, but omits his Confederate past. Pike, who has been accused by historians of links to the Ku Klux Klan, remains the only Confederate general memorialized outdoors in the Capitol. Washington delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton denounced the reinstallation, calling it an affront to the city's black and brown residents and to American soldiers who served honorably. She has introduced a bill seeking the statue's permanent removal, arguing that Confederate symbols belong in museums, not in public parks. The California National Guard has been deployed to help at the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank as the federal shutdown triggers a food emergency. Thousands of families are struggling as Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program or SNAP benefits run out on November 1st. The shutdown has now stretched to its 29th day, the second largest in U.S. history. Negotiations in Washington remain deadlocked over federal spending, leaving millions uncertain about their next meal. Officials say demand at food banks has doubled in recent weeks, forcing the National Guard to step in to keep supplies moving. 3 months after the deadly shooting at the NFL's Manhattan headquarters, League Commissioner Roger Goodell has given scholarships to the children of New York Police Detective Diarul Islam. He was killed while on duty in July. Goodell said the gesture was to honor Islam's service and ensure his children's education. Detective Islam was a 36-year-old father of 3 who was working an overtime shift when he was fatally shot. His brother-in-law said education had always been his top concern. The scholarships were created in partnership with the Folds of Honor Foundation, which supports families of fallen first responders. The award was announced on National First Responders Day on Tuesday. President Donald Trump called India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi a killer and tough as hell during his speech at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. Trump imitated Modi's voice while recalling their talks in May when tensions flared along the India-Pakistan border. He told the audience that Modi doesn't play around, adding that he was tougher than most people think.
He's a killer. He's tough as hell. No, we will fight. I said, whoa, is this the same man that I know?
The comments drew laughter from the crowd, but also sparked outrage among Indian commentators who saw the remarks as an insult. In May, cross-border attacks between India and Pakistan left dozens dead before both sides agreed to de-escalate. Observers say that while Trump previously praised Modi as a great friend, Thursday's tone was unusually mocking for a leader once hailed as part of Trump's strongman circle. President Donald Trump has ordered the Pentagon to resume nuclear weapons testing, saying the United States must match Russia and China. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said he instructed the Department of War to begin testing immediately on equal basis with other powers. The announcement came just before he met with Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea, their first meeting since 2019. Washington last conducted a full nuclear test in 1992. Since then, only North Korea, India, and Pakistan have carried out live detonations. China's foreign ministry urged the U.S. to honor non-proliferation treaties and promote peace. The move follows Russia's testing of nuclear-powered missiles, including the Buryvyazhnik and Poseidon super torpedo. Experts in the U.S. warned the decision could spark a new arms race. Congresswoman Dina Titus vowed to introduce legislation to block any nuclear testing. The Trump administration has lifted U.S. sanctions on Bosnia's nationalist Serb leader Milorad Dodik, along with his family and close associates. The U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control announced the move without offering any explanation. Dodik was first sanctioned in 2017 by former President Barack Obama's administration for undermining the Dayton Peace Agreement, which ended the Bosnian Genocide in 1995. He was accused of threatening Bosnia's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The Biden administration reimposed sanctions on him in 2022 for continued defiance of the peace accord. Earlier this year, a Bosnian court sentenced Dodik to 1 year in prison and barred him from politics for 6 years for ignoring the authority of the international envoy overseeing the Dayton Agreement. Dodik, known for his secessionist rhetoric, has repeatedly argued that Bosnia's Serb region should gain full independence. He has described the 1995 massacre of 8,000 Muslim boys and men in the town of Srebrenica as a fabricated myth and refused to call it a genocide. He has also expressed support for Israel in its genocide in Gaza, as well as supporting the establishment of a Great Russia, referring to the country's territorial claims over regions that were once part of the Russian Empire. The Netherlands' centrist D66 party scored major gains in national elections on Wednesday, overtaking Geert Wilders' far-right Freedom Party, which saw a steep decline. Wilders is widely known for his anti-Islam rhetoric and policies. He and his party have shaped the national discourse around immigration and Islam in the Netherlands for decades. He has equated the Quran with Adolf Hitler's Mein Kampf, calling for banning the Quran. With more than 90% of votes counted, D66 and Wilders' PVV hold 26 seats, each in the 150-member parliament. But D66 nearly tripled its previous tally, while Wilders lost heavily from his 2023 high. Analysts say the outcome signals a clear rejection of Islamophobia and far-right populism. That's all from our Toronto studios. Thank you for watching Muslim News. We're a community channel dedicated to bringing you stories you can trust. Please like, share, and subscribe to our content. You can also comment to let us know what you think of our coverage. You can donate now by visiting muslimnetwork.tv/donate. For more content, keep watching Muslim Network TV. Salam.